Dude, 12 burger. Run me through your picks.
Fucking Thanksgiving, bro. Tradition set by Mr. Steve Johnson.
Yes, thank you for paying homage. I would be upset if we forgot that Steve's the one that passed that torch down.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do on
You
TV.
pick all 3 games on Thanksgiving. It's what you do.
Yeah.
It's like, heard.
I like that.
Been fucking with that for the last couple of years now. Hit 12 of them bitches. Oh, yeah, 3 for 3 on Thanksgiving. Green Bay and the dog. I wanted all the dogs for the dogs. But nah, someone was telling me, switch it up. But fucking Green Bay, house pick, San Fran, Dallas, both to cover by over 8 and over 12. Or 12 or over, 8 or over.
All teams?
For Dallas was 12. I needed them
Right.
to win by 12. And then San Fran, I needed them to win by 8. But Green Bay was a dog. They were like a 7.5 point dog. But all 3 of them got the dub.
Let's go.
Then Denver. 4th dub. And if I had to put 5 guns to my head, I would have picked Miami.
Oh, he's nasty.
It would have 5th dub.
If you could have ran, like, let's say you had $1,000 on the 4-game parlay and you hit the 3 on Thanksgiving, and you what am I trying to say? You can add a game for less money and make it a 5-game parlay.
Oh.
People trail like that. Like, if you were hitting 3, they'll add a 4th. And yeah, now if you would have added Miami to like a 5-game parlay,
After Thanksgiving.
cash out, bro.
Oh. $50, $100. It's just like rack.
Yeah, seriously, probably 5-game. Yeah,
5-game parlay? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to hit.
That's gotta be close to like, yeah, at least like 10 to 1.
Can I tell you something that you won't believe? I mean, you might believe me because you trust me,
course.
right? But like other people, I don't tell this story because it just sounds like cap. But I remember one of the first times that I learned about parlays was when I was the very first year that I was in the Pick'ems League, which was like my sophomore or junior year in college, and I was like in my own mind like understanding that when you're picking 4 games for this like other league that we're doing, it's basically doing a parlay. And so that made me interested in a parlay because you can make so much money allegedly. And I was like, okay, so then I went to like a gambling website where you can like lock in bets, you know what I'm saying, and like see what the odds you'd get back were. And so I'm just looking at like the slate of games, and I pick out like in my mind I'm like, oh dude, easy win, easy cover, easy cover. It's like the first time I've ever looked at a bet sheet, right? And I pick out it was like 8 games I want to say, where I was like, I legitimately think that like if there's 13 games being played on this weekend, these 8 I've got them in there. And all 8 of those games I got right and covered that week.
Oh,
seriously! Like I didn't. I looked. It was like $20 to win like $11,000 or something like that.
8-game parlay.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Something like that. Where I was like, this is the kind of betting that I'm into. And then it hit, and I was like,
But you didn't place a bet.
No,
You just got the math.
Yeah, it was like the first time I'd ever opened up like Bovada, you know what I'm saying? One of those websites.
All that shit that pops up whenever you watch streams on illegal websites.
Yeah, I just went on one of those.
Yeah.
But like I didn't really want to like break the law and make the bet, you know what I'm saying? So I was chilling on that. I'm still in that same boat where like
That's crazy.
if I lived
Beginner's luck.
Yeah, I think so, right?
8-game parlay on your first go through.
Yeah,
sorry, I was just gonna say at the same time it's really funny because it's like beginner's luck, but also at the same time the experts are wrong all the time. All the time the experts are wrong. No one's hitting this shit perfect all the time. It's like unpredictable, unexplainable things happen in games sometimes.
Yeah, that's why gambling is an industry. It hinges on that.
Yeah.
It's like no one knows. Any given Sunday, no one knows. You never know.
Injuries. Someone could just bow. Someone could just come to bow, especially in basketball. But football's a little bit different. But like basketball, one player can take over a game.
I mean, it happens in football too, where somebody just came to ball.
Just
for real.
catching
like,
everything.
Let's say like
the quarterback's just balling.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is really running that fucking huddle. You know what I'm saying? He's got everyone just like on 10. Like there's certain people where if Peyton Manning comes to play, like the Colts are on a different level. If Ray Lewis is on some sheesh, the Ravens are coming on a different level. It's tight. Like, man, I love team composition. I love game analysis. You know what I'm saying? And I think game analysis is it's like a simulation analysis is more or less, I think, more true, you know?
Yeah.
And we all
love trying to predict the future.
Yeah. And in any business, if you have a day of business, that's like you had projections for that day and what you thought was going to happen that day. And then there's the reality of it happening. And then there's the analysis of the reality post your prediction. And that's like my favorite part about what we do. That's one of the things that I love about business the most is that it's almost like sports where it's like we have a playbook, we have a game plan, we have what we think's how it's going to go
They're
down.
like huddles,
Yeah. We're like, all right, let's go
staff
win.
meetings. Yeah,
And sometimes you like
pre-shifts.
obviously win. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You come out and you're like, yes, we did it. Like,
Yeah,
good job
the
today.
opponent or the challenge is presented, and then you respond to it. And how was your response to the challenge? We love that shit.
Yeah, love it.
But yeah,
I-
business is the same thing as sports, but yeah, sports is more just like literally played out, and there's like a literal scoreboard, and they're keeping track of this shit.
yeah, that's the difference for sure.
But I guess yeah, kind of like if you have if you're a business or management perspective, you have goals and financial stipulations and restrictions that you have to deal with, and then you have to make as much money as you can and stretch your dollar as far as you can, and have a profitable business.
That's
winning team.
That's the name of the game.
Name of the game.
That as sports are deeper than sports. I sound like such a jock when I say that. I know I sound like Gronkowski, but like I will. It's a hill I like to stand on. Like you tell me, is sports like life or is life like sports? Because it's so similar. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Mhm.
Like we're saying the business is like sports, and I'm like basketball is like the business. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just
Moneyball.
yeah, exactly. That's why I like analysis because it's like that's the thing that goes into both of them is like Moneyball being like if you're really tapped into the game, like you really know what's going on and you can see where your like pros and where your cons are and where there's like areas for you to make a play, for you to do something different
Take
in the game.
advantage.
Yeah, to get your edge. If you have game sense. Like for instance, I thought about this when I was playing basketball the other day. This is dope.
Mm.
Like some of the best crossovers you ever seen, it's not because that guy has a nasty crossover. It's because that guy felt his opponent leaning hard left for the last 15 minutes. And he probably set him up for the last 3 plays to have that crossover where he falls down. But it's not like his right to left is so good, people will just fall. Like I can't take that same move. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But when we're kids, we watch someone do a spin move and we're like, if I have a nasty spin move, I can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the spin move works when I drop step right 10 times in a row this whole game. And I know I feel his whole energy predicting that. And now I have the ability to spin on him right now and I'm going to like bust his head so he's going to fall down. But like, it's
that analysis of the moment or the feedback loop of challenge and then like response and then like how'd that go? It's like, okay, the challenge is still there. I still need to respond. It's like that constant loop of information plugging away the numbers in real time.
In real time, yeah, having like the sense for like what to say in a moment or like
how to handle a situation.
Yes, sometimes like the answer, like I'm like do this, like it comes to me, and and it's like making a play almost like he's leaning right, I'm breaking left, and it's like I'm open, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not because. It's in the moment senses based on what I've been going through the game flow.
Yeah,
you know what
like
I'm saying?
The same thing in any business, but in our particular case specifically, like running a restaurant, like playing the game of restaurant, or playing the game of accountant, or playing the game of lawyer.
Yes.
Like, and we're all playing the game of lawyer and like, or playing the game of restaurant. And there's situations that arise, and we're all dealing with the same situations that arise based on whatever field you're trying to play in, whatever game you've assigned yourself to. They all have rules, and we're all responding to those rules in real time. And then some people who've been in the restaurant longer are able to say, no, don't do that, do this. No, don't say that, say this. No, don't go that way, okay, I've seen this before. Okay, this is how we handle it.
Yep.
You know
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It's wisdom.
The wisdom is real.
Yeah.
Where it's just like sometimes a situation just arises to me and I'm like, I know who has the wisdom to deal with this situation.
Mhm.
Like just because game sense, it's like I'm passing him the ball right now. Like if you know what I'm saying?
Kobe!
Yeah. He's open at the 3. He's hot. I know he hits the shot. Bang.
Mhm.
But yeah, whatever. It's cool. It's enriching. It's deep.
The analysis.
And I think restaurant is an industry for a reason. Like just the same way that gambling is an industry for a reason. Like they have to hinge on something that's gonna make them stand the test of time.
Something real.
Something real has to be there that like works. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because let me retract. You know what I'm saying? Because that doesn't help anybody. But for instance, it's like why
It's a comma sometimes.
yeah, it's literally just a comma.
It's a comma.
Gambling works because A, people want to have fun. It's like kind of a thrill to gamble. B, the house always puts things in their favor, at least by 1%. Like blackjack is 51% in favor of the house.
I think it might be more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
You definitely have the best odds of any game in the house on blackjack.
I think it's craps.
Is it craps?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or at least that's how it was sold to me.
Word. Yeah, that's how blackjack was sold to me.
Yeah.
It's a common spiel.
Damn it, Vegas.
Right? But regardless, they always keep the odds in their like they'll never play a game where they have less than 51% odds because they're business.
Mhm.
And then the reason that the business works is people want to spend money, they think they have a chance. But the longer that they're there
And there's
for,
a story presented, so we all like predicting the story.
yes.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of the hospitality piece too. Like you're a guest there. That's a fun experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People are really instructional and nice, and you have like you build friends within the casino while you're playing games with them, you know? It's like there's a lot going on that makes that work. It's hard exactly to put like my finger on the pulse of it, but I think a lot of it is that the actual gambling aspect where people can risk and then potentially have the thrill of winning a reward like instantaneously. But then they stay alive because they're always going to win long term.
Yeah.
And so like that's like their formula for why they've just been around for like 200, 300, 400 years. Like gambling's been around forever.
Forever.
People are probably gambled in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think it's in the Bible and shit.
yeah. Yes.
They gambled away his clothes. Or something like that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Jesus' clothes. His robes.
Yeah. They like roll dice for it.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
Dude. See, this is crazy. Okay. Anyways,
Sorry.
but it's crazy to me because there's something real there, and just like touching that and being aware of that helps me understand what is business as a whole. Like the restaurant works because people need to eat, and
we love that shit.
right?
And the hospitality in industry is real.
Yes, being a guest in someone's house and then like allowing them to pay. Because also I've also just been a person who doesn't want to make their own food, or maybe I don't want to be alone that night, or maybe I want to like have a cocktail. It's like when you just have those feelings alone in your apartment, it's nice that there's a place where you can go to have all those things and people are friendly and nice and inviting and warm and welcome. And that thing you were feeling when you're at home, when you wanted to get out, it's like you went to a place and it was like a very validated decision. It's like, oh, I'm happy I went here. This is so nice here. Like, I love this drink.
Being treated so well.
I'm getting treated so well. Like, I love the personalities around here. I love watching these people live out their stories. I can just come here and be like, because the guest perspective is weird. It's like they get to come there and just like hang out at our place. But well, like, what would like time's gonna pass? Like, what? How do you have you ever gone to a bar and just like sat there for 2 or 3 hours?
Not without like people.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Maybe not without like at least like one person.
it's kind of rare, right? Like,
Right. At least in my story.
yeah,
But yeah, usually they like the social setting.
right. It's where you meet someone for a drink, or like sometimes when I want to just talk to you about stuff I just want to talk to you about, like my brain's like, we should go to a bar for a drink.
Yeah. Or go to watch a game, watch football.
Yes.
Go to a sports bar
Yes.
on a Sunday.
There's a lot of utility. There's a lot of sometimes you can like you don't need to get out of the house, but it's nice. It's a nice allure. You have to pay money for someone else to cook for you and pour you drinks and give you the alcohol and the food and the hospitality piece. Like it costs something, but like that's why it works is because like these places are able to sustain a profit because people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Over time, like it's just proven to be true, you know?
Yeah. In like I don't know, I was gonna say like in the almost like negative light, it's kinda like not like slavery to a degree, but like servitude. Like we're in service of these people. You know? Or like good service. And it's also like it's just nice to have at any and every level. Like if I go to Discount Tire and it's like I get good service, I'm like, thank you so much. Like this could have gone shittily.
Yeah.
I guess paying the money help ensures that it doesn't go shittily.
Sometimes, right?
That's the idea.
Yeah, definitely. People say that
It's like, why am I gonna pay a lot of money to have someone treat me like shit?
exactly. You can make a lot more money if you give great service. You could even charge more money because people want the service so much that they're willing to pay a premium for it.
Yeah, hospitality is a real thing. Service is a real thing.
And I think that stems from the fact that the very human experience that we all have, that like going to a tire shop is kind of scary. And scary is like, I'm not afraid when I go in there, but there's still that moment
The
of
unknown.
yeah, it's unknown. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm not sure what's truth here.
Right at all. I'm vulnerable for sure.
Yeah.
And some people like have a guy for stuff like that, someone you trust.
Yeah.
And you go to that guy
And you
for
you just put all that on them.
yeah,
Instead
right.
of doing any like the research myself or like diving into it, which we can all do. We got the internet, but it's like you just put all that on this person. You're just like, is this truth here? And they're like, yes or no. And then you listen to them. You're like, okay, Like my stepdad for sure. I'm like, Mike, he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's like, Toyotas and Lexuses, good brand, good car, reliable. I was like, I bet.
Yeah.
Get a Toyota.
Get a Lexus, baby. Let's go.
I got to think twice about it.
Yeah, word though. But there's something. I mean, it's the same thing as I kind of want to have the position of like a curator, a taste curator, because I feel like you can do that with me with your taste. Like I could put you on a good music right now, or like if you told me what your vibe was, but like if you wanted like the meta of hip hop right now, I could kind of tell you like the most popular songs, and
the story of what's going on in hip hop,
right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something like maybe I don't know. Someday I want to be just like have a playlist where it's like MJ38's curated playlist, and it's one of the most played playlists, and it's not even our music. It's like my playlist,
the taste of what's current or the taste at the moment,
right,
of the time.
But like it's because there's something to that. It's hard to find music sometimes. It's hard to find podcasts. It's hard to find.
It takes time,
right,
to sift through all the fucking data that's out there for anything. The podcast, the music. Movies or shows.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions I ask, or everyone's been talking about as of the last 20 years of our lives for sure. Before that, not so much.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you watching? Because like, it was all on cable. We're all watching the same thing. But now we have so many options. What shows have been worth your existence, and which ones have not been?
Yeah.
Both of that information is kind of pertinent to me.
Yeah. People also identify with, like, it's hard. It's like, do I want to tell you what I think is great, or do I want to tell you what I've identified with? A lot of people use art or like television, movies to like identify themselves. Yeah, which is dope. It's dope that we can do that.
Yeah, we find something in it.
But even with my grandma, one of the things that when I was hanging out with her, she was like 80, so like I think she was almost 90 when she passed away.
Okay. Oh, sorry, it's just something else.
No, but just
that late 90s.
Late 80s.
Late 80s.
Yeah. Huge age gap though, like 60-year age gap, right? And I was just like, so what are you watching on Netflix? And we could have a whole conversation about what's dope on Netflix. And it was like an icebreaker, or not. You just know whenever there's like not any conversation going on, and you're like, why aren't we talking right now? Let's like break the ice or just get in there,
Yeah, create conversation.
Yeah. And that was like one of my pieces. And we talk about, whatever.
It's a conversation game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole thing, bro. Yeah. It's a whole thing, bro.
Yeah, I think that's one of my questions as well, like in the conversation game. I remember coming to that kind of analysis or self-analysis about conversation and how I play conversation and things to throw into the game of conversation when it comes to a lull. I was like, that's one of my go-tos. That's a good go-to. I like that go-to. And like I could talk about that myself, and I could talk about or whatever, And it's other people have opinions, and like usually pretty strongly, or like not strong to a degree. They're definitely like, oh, this is a softball. Yeah.
And it's nice because there's like a uptick in energy. You connect with someone when you both like, it's like, you watching TV? And then they're like, I do fuck with TV. And then it's like, what kind of TV do you watch? And they're like, I like Peaky Blinders. And then I'm like, dude, come on. What are we talking about? Heck yes, bro. Like,
Thomas Shelby.
I have a shot on a post. It's like, yes, bro. But there's connection in that moment. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, that's kind of what we're looking for, especially in a moment of vulnerability.
Yeah. Which is life is scary.
Yeah. Life is vulnerability.
Yeah. We're all just little humans.
God, that was deep. Sorry.
What's up? When I was just saying, I had a moment with the coworker at work where they were like, I forget what he expressed. Something to the degree of, I can't connect with that many people about Better Call Saul because not many people have seen it, at least that I've talked to. And I was like, oh, Better Call Saul? That's gas. She's like, oh, you like, yeah, boom. Connection.
Yeah, that's top 5 shows that I've seen in the last year for sure.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that shit's beautiful. I love that show. That show's incredible. Just as good, if not better than Breaking Bad, arguably.
I think it's better, personally.
Right?
Yeah, I can tell you why.
I love it.
Breaking Bad has more like boom boom craziness, but then Better Call Saul has more like gut wrenching dialogue, where you're just like, oh, or like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. But like an explosion, like a building blows up, and that's like one form of coolness or like entertainment,
attention grabbing or keeping you engaged,
climactic moment, you know.
Yeah.
But when like a relationship was developed for 2 or 3 seasons, and then like just something gets said, it's like more climactic. It's more I'm like shooken. I'm like, oh my gosh,
shooketh me to my core. I
cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah.
It's like way more. I think it's better. I think
more thrilling.
Yeah, more thrilling. It's deeper. It takes a little more of me to understand, but then the more of me that I put it out there to find understanding is like bigger reward for my system. And then I feel like I learned too. You don't really learn much from an explosion other than things explode. You know?
Yeah, don't connect those wires. Or don't light the gas in a fire.
Yeah, right. Or like if in the episode I'm thinking of, it's like when Walt goes into Tuco's office with the bag of stuff,
Yeah,
and he's just like,
yeah, that shit was crazy.
what's the meta thing that happened there? He went into the lion's den, but he didn't go without a backup plan.
Yeah, he came knowing, or he's a dead man anyway. He's like, I can't die. Like, this is it. I'm already dead. That's why I'm doing this whole thing. And he goes in there with that, and yeah, with knowing that he's gonna be like robbed to a degree, or just like you're
Predicting
putting yourself completely in the fucking lion's den. You're
Right.
like putting your head in the lion, dog.
Yeah, yeah. So you're not gonna bite me, right?
He's like, I got a gun to this lion. Got a gun to this lion's head down. That's head. I'm in.
Yeah, yeah.
We're both going down. Fuck it.
But people look okay. So
That episode grabbed me for sure. I remember that episode.
right,
That was
same.
early too. It was early.
When I think about the best parts of Breaking Bad, that's one of the things that comes to my head. Is like that's one of the best moments in my mind. And then I compare that with like some of the best moments in Better Call Saul, and I'm like, I just liked Better Call Saul better. Like that scene was great, but like, dude, Kim's character arc.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh
As
my
far as how
god.
deep couldn't it go?
Yeah,
I think it does get super deep, but Better Call Saul, I think you're right in that. It's more the whole thing. The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing, and like, yeah, definitely the ending is nice. The ending of Breaking Bad is incredible though too. I don't know. I can't give it. I can't give
Vince
it up to one or
Gilligan.
the other. Right?
Vince
That's what I said.
yeah.
Like, I can't really pick one or the other, man. But fuck, I love them both. They're so good. I think he said there's another Vince Gilligan show coming out with the same actor or actress, sorry, who plays Kim. I think he said, I'm not sure if it's a Better Call Saul continuation or some other stories within that, or if it's just an entirely new script written by Vince Gilligan, just starring this actress who played the lead supporting cast role in Better Call Saul. But either way, I'm sure it's going to be fucking fire because Vince Gilligan has proven to me time and time again that man comes with some heat.
He comes with heat.
Both of those shows are gas.
He's special and rare. He had two kids, and they're both just ballers.
Diff.
Diff, dude. Diff, yeah, he's
Those shows are
awesome.
great. But yeah, just that moment of connection, of genuine connection. That's another thing too, because it's like I've seen that thing. I know exactly what you're talking about, and they could have a different take on it than you, and then you guys talking about that together, or just enhance your own understandings or whatever. Also nice to have the differing opinions as well to give you more of a complete. It's like, oh, I never thought about it like that, or it's like, oh, I love the show for this reason. You're like, oh, I didn't even like appreciate that reason that much until you just brought it to my attention. I appreciate it for my own reasons.
Yes.
Right, and then the genuine connection.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like I love I love the left leg of this elephant. I forget what the metaphor is. It's like you can't look at you're always too close to a picture to see the whole picture. So you have to have other people help you figure out that you're looking at an elephant because you're just looking at one leg, or you might be looking at the trunk. But like you could guess what it is, and you're probably right. But like you're just so close, you can't see the whole thing. And it's really nice when someone else is like, "Dude, did you see this part over here?" When they're
Look at it from this side.
yeah, right.
It's like, oh shit!
Like
It's like literally changing your perspective of whatever this life thing that we're looking at.
yes, what you're
Yeah.
appreciating is like the whole elephant. It's cool that there's like a bigger thing than the one thing that you see about it. That's cool. It's like the whole thing is the whole elephant.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's like the piece of art, for instance.
Yeah, and to
Like-
get that validation. It's like I think it's dope. It's like I think it's dope too. It's like okay, cool. My dope radar is like at least somewhat calibrated.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. That's part of this whole experience that we're having.
I was gonna
here.
say it's like watching shows is like that, but life is like that.
Yeah.
That's life.
It is.
We're all living our own life, and we can't see the whole thing, so we need other people to tell us how to look at this.
It's true. And it's nice whenever you just hear someone like I have like a truth radar or like something sits with me well. Like they're saying it and it's like making sense to me, you know what I'm saying? And it's nice whenever, you get something that makes sense to you that's different. Like you can change the way you think a little bit. Like people's perspective and energy literally will like change you a little bit for the better. Like you get to pick what changes
Yeah,
you and what
yeah.
doesn't change you.
Yeah, stand guard at the gate of your subconscious.
Yes, you should.
Right where it changes into like okay, it's like it's gone now. Now it's gonna do its own thing in the back of my mind. But like you stand guard there.
Yes.
You could let the things come by that you want to come by, and things you want to identify with and agree with, and things that you think are true, and other truths that people have seen and experienced that you may not have seen or experienced yet in your story. And then give it to you now, and you can like let it go through, and like okay, I'll agree with that. I'll also label that as truth until I find out otherwise.
That's what we have to do here.
Yeah.
And you're
It takes a
only,
lot of attention
it
and
does.
awareness.
It does. But it's also written for you. So like it's crazy because in my own mind that presents a problem where like I have to analyze all the data so I can get to like the foremost conclusion of what's true and what's not true with all this information that's coming to my gate.
Yeah.
But I think it's scripted so that the information that comes to your gate is coming to you as you need to know it. When
Personally written, scripted.
Right?
Yeah.
So the job becomes a lot simpler. I just need to go have my day. People don't. I say it so often, and I thought people would just like pick up on what I'm saying kind of quickly, but like I realize there's a disconnect when I'm like, "Yo, let's have a day," or like, "Let's get this day off," or like, "Yo, I'm trying
Let's
to
score 4 touchdowns, please. Let's go cover for the motherfuckers who bet on us.
yeah, bro. See, I'm with you, bro. You can send me in a battle, dog.
That's where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
Angels are betting on you, dog. It's 1,000 to 1, 1,000,000 to 1. They're betting on you.
Come on, and the odds are stacked. I'm gonna be honest.
I bet you to cover straight up money line, dog.
We need you, baby. We need you. Yes, bro. Like,
come on, y'all.
Golly, that's the pod right there.
That's it. That's what the show's about.
But yeah, the job is simpler though. Like it is an impossible task. That's why
it's 1,000,000 to 1, kid.
Tom Cruise. Mission Impossible, bro. Literally, like
Tom Cruise.
But it's like
John Wick.
It's your day though. It's like it's your challenge. Like
we do have to like in a 360 degree, like you're the central focal point, and like there's 360 degrees of information coming in at you, but like and it's all like text. It's like if your life was literally a story and like literally broken down into text format and just coming into you like second by second, your script was being read through a fucking like a movie, literally second by second, it's just going. Like you only have it's like a slight beam. It's just it's your story that's coming in like one text at a time, and you're able to like try to read that story. But like in truth, it's like a whole thing, and you can only see. But it's your day. Like your day is just like your little script, and you can follow your script perfectly for your day to day. Then you'll have your perfect story, and like the things that are supposed to come into your HUD will come into your HUD, and hopefully you're able to identify them. Like you get to play part in that as well.
Yes,
it's your responsibility. You get to have that responsibility.
Praise God.
It's awesome. Praise God.
and you get in a rhythm with yourself, where like you're hitting your checks. Like, you get momentum is what I'm trying to say. So like once you've had a few positive interactions and you're in rhythm, much like any sport or any dart throwing, or I'm trying to like job that I'm not sure exactly how to label this type of thing, but you can get into a rhythm where it becomes easier to you. Like it's kind of you're in a flow state and the task isn't even as hard as it was on paper when you started.
Yes.
Because you're in a rhythm of making the right choice.
Yes. And I can feel that I likened 100% to back to what we were talking about at the very beginning when we were talking about what picks I was making this week. And like, for the example, like for the last 4 weeks, it was like I hit 2 points week 1. And then from week 2 to week like 8 or 9, it was zeros, dog. Goose eggs across the board.
The drought,
dog. And then over the last 4 weeks, it was 6, 12, 0, 12.
Come on.
And the 0 was only because I didn't even lose. It was a push.
You hit 3 out of 4 and pushed on your last.
3 out of 4 and pushed on my last.
Which would have paid out in Vegas.
Would have paid out in Vegas, but not in our league.
Hey, let's go.
Like, son of a bitch, dog. Fuck them. Came back with another 12.
Oh, 12 burgers are delicious.
Yes, bro. And the fucking it was push. It was a push on the 4th, and that 4th was my power. It's either times 2 or times 0. So I got the times 0. And on that push, they covered by 5, or the spread was 5. They won by 5. They missed a field goal, and they threw a pick in the red zone. So it's like that's 10 extra points potentially right there. Like they could have covered easily twice.
Justin was right like 98% out of 100, which most of the time people celebrate with.
Yeah, I would have gotten paid.
Yeah, literally would have gotten paid for that one. But like just
a little different of a league here.
One more point by the Houston Texans and you get the most points in our league you could have possibly gotten. Mm-hmm. But it happened to be the pick that was everything rides on that pick regardless of what else happens. Mm-hmm. And then it was also just like a tie instead of a loss. But a tie goes to the house in this league. Yep. So you lose. Whereas like a tie is a null in Vegas.
They just give you your money back.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we tied. You get your
game. The game didn't even count. The game might as well have not even been played as far as we're concerned.
Yes, which is tight. Like, I mean, I didn't really appreciate it. Like a push isn't something I appreciate in Vegas. I'm like, oh, I didn't win. But now I appreciate a push because I'm like, at least I love
a push in blackjack. If I push in blackjack, at least I didn't lose my money.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, all right, and here we go again, my friend.
Double down.
I would have had to bet this anyways.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that might be my new move. It's kind of hard actually.
But yeah, that's I feel like the things get when the more right decisions you're making, like the smaller it gets, and then you're just focused on your actual text that's coming in, the text you're supposed to be reading, the story you're supposed to be reading, or telling yourself about what's happening here. The maximized story, the maximized legend. Yeah, I feel like I'm on my shit for the last 4 weeks.
Let's go. Yeah, dude, I feel that, and I felt that last year when I was doing the picks, where I found the rhythm, and you find your own mechanics for making picks. Like you get your own system going.
Like, what's going on? What's truth here? What's truth here?
Yeah,
it's like,
dude.
fuck what I think about who's gonna win. What's truth here?
Seriously, and you have
the truth is the scoreboard, dog. Fuck the stories, fuck the narrative we tell ourselves. The scoreboard's the truth.
Seriously,
even if it's fucked up or the refs fucked up or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like that's a story, but still,
there's stuff to know too. Like when you got your 0, the story of you getting that 0 is like you really almost got it all right. But if someone saw your 0 and was like, "Well, fade Justin."
0.
Like, that's not truth though. It's like yes, that's but like
I got 0 points, but yeah, 3, like 4 and the 3.5 out of 4 ain't bad.
No, dude, my analysis is pick with Justin the next week, the following, like pick with Justin. And I did start to pick with you. And then I started scoring points. That's my system, baby.
Bucks, dog.
Yeah. Like, and then last year I had a really good system where I would text 3 different people with 3 different perspectives. And I would add my perspective as a 4th perspective. And then I would try my best to detach from my perspective and analyze all 4 as 25% components. And so since I'm making 4 picks, I would kind of cancel out based on like, I'd put all 4 of us in a Venn diagram. It's like, okay, we all kind of think this isn't going to happen. So let's fade that. And then it's like, these 2 are big on that and I'm down on that and Justin's down on that. But like, I can see why they're up on it. Like, JJ, why do you think this is going to happen?
Yeah.
And then he'd tell me specifically why he thinks why. And I'd be like, okay, I didn't see that. I was thinking this. I know Justin also thinks this, and that's why we think that. But I think what you're saying are might be more true than me, and it's something I don't think. And I'm not always right. I'm actually wrong most of the time.
I'm usually wrong. I'm betting against myself when I bet sometimes.
Right? So I'm like, all right, that's pretty convincing. Let me throw that in there. Yeah. And then I'm like, Derek, what are you super hot on? You like the 49ers or what? And he's like, CMC can't be stopped. Can't be stopped, dude. I'm telling you, this man
machine.
He's going to go for 3, dude. The rushing defense is nothing. I don't understand the spread. And I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, I definitely think this is going to happen because the Steelers, like, I always think that they show up and win and cover when, like, I least expect them to. So whenever I need something out of thin air and the Steelers haven't covered in 2 or 3 weeks and I kind of like it, I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. Mike Tomlin, you know?
Yeah.
He gets them going sometimes. So, like, I'll just pull something, not even my most favorite game, but just, like, pull something that my analysis sees. And then when I was doing that, that's when I was the most accurate that I'd ever been. And then I got into a rhythm of, like, if I read all the news stories for that whole week and I asked my 4 friends what was up, I feel like I had money picks. And I ended up picking weird stuff like, yeah, I'm going to Kansas City because my dad told me he's watching that game. And he's rooting for Patrick Mahomes. He never watches football. So I don't think my dad's going to have a bad weekend. But I think Casey's going to cover big. And then I would just pick him because of that. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Yeah, because you could do all the analysis and all the experts are wrong all the time.
All the time.
You can do all the number reading, number crunching that you want to do, but then it comes down to the Sunday. How's it play out? And it's like sometimes you got to bend against the thing that you're like, this is probably not going to happen. I'm just going to fuck it. So it's probably happening.
See, that's a more sophisticated way to deal with the system because the system isn't predictable. So why would I try to predict it?
I'm predicting the unpredictability.
Yes. So that's why I'm like, my dad's watching the game. It's like, it's more predictable that my dad has a good day than that when my dad goes on a limb to try to watch a football game, I think he's going to get rewarded for that. I know my dad's story and I know that this experience he has, I think he's going to have a good time today. And so I'm picking the Chiefs for that. It's like that thing is more predictable to me than the NFL is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there's like a million narratives to read, but like trying to do the right thing in the right time in your personal story will allow you to just only have that perspective of those things coming into your feed or coming to your gate.
It's so crazy, bro. Gambling helped me see that.
Yeah.
I bought
all that to say.
I bought sunglasses.
4 weeks later, I'm still in this bitch, dog. I'm riding that wave, cuz.
Tell him, bro. That's the thing. It's like that's why gambling's cool to me. It's because like that perspective of being able to predict the unpredictable by detaching from my own perspective and putting it at the same evaluation as my peers' perspective. That thing was super valuable to me last year. I was like, I learned something here bigger than the NFL is. I could make money gambling or I'm smart. It's like I learned something bigger for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There is that unpredictability factor that you have to factor in, the randomness. You never know what's gonna happen. That's like the great thing about life. Life's a gamble. Life's a gamble. That's why gambling works. It's like life to a very high degree, and same thing with restaurant. That's why those work.
Life is hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
There's something there. There's something true that makes it work, and that you can touch it, or we're touching it right now. But it's hard to understand fully.
Yes.
A lot of times you just go out to eat with your family. And you don't really. You just have good times there, and like that's the initial start of you getting into something, or like playing poker with your friends is like fun, or like camaraderie. Like, but you're just enjoying something that's stood the test of time, like an industry. The word industry like is crazy to me because it's like
a social foundation.
Yeah, or definitely a business foundation. Like social. So yeah, I mean, social means like
businesses. You can't do business without people,
right?
You need clients.
That makes business always social to some degree.
Has to be.
Yeah,
every social interaction is business. Or transactional.
Oh yeah,
but not monetarily. You know what I'm saying? Just momentarily.
Just spit those bars, kid. That's it, bro. That's the thing.
So that's momentary transactions.
I love this bridge because I wanted to get to this part.
Come on, come with me.
Okay. That's the thing about like making it work and in the workplace. As an employee or a boss or an entrepreneur, I think it's true across the board. You have to have the social piece in there because business isn't just. It is just transactional, but transactional is a social piece. So like in my mind, like you don't have to kiss my ass, and I don't want to kiss your ass. You just gotta do your job well, and I just gotta do my job well.
The hierarchy's competence based.
Come on, I'll just ad-lib you. Come on.
Oh, in the words of Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Seriously, the premium's a price to be paid. We could write these bars. They write themselves, dog.
They write themselves.
Yo, but so I don't necessarily like that though.
Yeah, no. I don't want to kiss your ass. I don't want you to kiss my ass.
No, why would we?
Let's just do our jobs well.
It's kind of weird to me if you enjoy that piece of the game. If that's something you like, if I propagate it when it feels like I have to, just to check boxes. Sometimes people are trying to. Sometimes my boss is trying to. Well, it's a weird metaphor. Socially, we're trying to figure people out sometimes. And sometimes if someone's trying to figure me out, I'm like, fuck off, dude. Like, I'm not interested. Like,
I don't want to play this game of whatever it is with you.
Yeah, like in the gym, I don't really like to like make friends in the gym. I think some people go to the gym for a social piece.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching them enjoying the hanging out with all the people almost more than I think they're enjoying the workout, which is like cool. I used to shit on those people. I try not to do it now because it's like the gym is like a healthy bar sometimes for those people. And who am I to say that they don't need some kind of social interaction in their life?
Go to the bar.
Get something off my chest.
Yo.
Yeah, come on, that's hard.
Write themselves.
So
can't be shit on those people.
Well, I don't like it though. That's where that stemmed from. Is this feeling of like I'm not there to do that. Like I'm not.
That's what it is though. Yeah. It's like I don't want to shit on these people, but I'm not there to do that.
I'm not.
I don't agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm not interested.
Not interested.
Firmly not interested.
B.
Yeah. But then some people, they don't like that B. In fact, it's like almost like those people that want that social piece really don't like the denial of the social piece. Oddly enough, you know what I'm saying? It kind of makes sense. So then like those
they want it badly, so when they don't get it, it hurts badly.
Yes. And then that makes them pursue a social piece with me more. They're like, hold on, no, I can like win this guy over. Or like, let me just see what was going on there. Like it like piques their interest to some degree when I'm like, hey, I'm good. Like I'm trying to work out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, have a good day, bro. They're like, nah, tomorrow I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'm just like, stop, dog. But then I have to like engage with them socially to not have to deal with them socially, which is like, I might sound like an asshole right now, but maybe this is advice for introverts. It's like, if you deny people the social piece that they want, it becomes like something that inflates and wants to come over the gate you put up. Instead, if you just allow free passage, you'll have less commute in between your shit.
Less energy expenditure trying to keep it at bay.
Yes. Because if you keep it at bay, it's going to swell up. Because people are weird, Like, we're weird, too. Like,
everyone's weird in their own way.
Weird, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like, we're all dealing with this mass hallucination we have going on.
Yeah, we're all dealing with it in our own way, through our own interpretation of our own story.
Right. And I'm just on the scale of less likely to... I just don't want to have that social piece. I'm expending, like, all my energy on the performance. And then the people that I get along with are doing the same thing. And then we, like, find little gaps and windows to relate about the performance. But it's also like a natural flow where it makes sense to us.
Mm-hmm.
And like I feel when people tap into that, but I also feel when people's own neuroticism is steering them away from that. I also feel the same thing in myself. We're all coping with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts.
But
It's
yeah,
all transactional.
yes, it's
And like, yeah, not monetarily, but we're all every conversation is transactional. It's like input output, input output, input output. Communication's a two-way street, and you need everything that's more than one person is like social. Like,
right.
yeah, you need a client, you need someone to sell to, or whatever you're trying to do, trying to transact with.
For me, I think, oh, this is so hard. This
Oh.
is so hard. Yo, for me, it's just like I value the currency at a much higher rate. Oh, sorry, guys. But what I mean when I say that is like, I'm not willing to give out transactions of me. It's a higher price. Like,
I can't be so willy nilly with my transactions. I only so many.
right? And I'm not trying to say it's like Clase Azul. Like, it doesn't go out very often, but when it does, it's expensive and it hits. That's my energy, you know?
Yeah, it's Dom Perignon, baby. You know what you're gonna get. It's gonna hit every time.
Right? And like, I'm cool with that. I like that about me. I want to preserve that. It's something that developed naturally because of the way that I am naturally.
Again, Yeho effect, baby.
Yeah, if I just keep being me, it's gonna keep being true. And but it does go out.
It's a hard album title.
What is that?
Yeah, Yeho effect.
Yeah, I like that. I'm into that. And Yeho Volume 1.
Yeah, so but the social interactions.
Yeah, the other side of that is that I share it with you all the time. Like, you don't have to pay any kind of tax. Like, we're like true friends. Like, that's what I save it for. Like, my dad gets that at will, and my sister gets that from me.
Yeah, because you only have so much of it to give.
Right? And I do want to share it with the people that not like deserve it more or less, but the people that like mean a lot to me. And I know I mean a lot to them. It's like I'm saving it for them because like that's who it's for, you know? So sometimes I am like more reserved in the social setting. I'm not trying to just like, I don't know, it's just not me all the time. Like, but then I do give it into the people that I am trying to have those transactions with. And I think that's a better mode of being. I don't know. I might be wrong. Like some people enjoy.
I think it's a balance.
Right. There probably is a balance for that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and everyone has their own view of what that right balance looks like in their own day to day, regardless of your level of introvert versus extrovert. Because some social interaction is like good for your soul. It's good for like humankind, like your conscious thought of what humankind is and who people are. It's like you have to kind of figure out who you are through other people as well.
And there's people that pursue me to open me up like that for that sake. They're literally like, no, man, be a little more open hearted, be a little more like childlike with yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. Like JJ's like that with me, and I appreciate him for being like, he's right. You know what I'm saying? As much as I am like this, and this is kind of my default setting, like people that have the opposing view, like they're right. And I,
to a degree,
right?
The same way you are. Yeah.
I want to embrace their right too. You know what I'm saying?
The introverts and the extroverts both have a truth.
Yes. The higher order is taking your default setting and detaching a little bit and being nuanced and sophisticated with yourself.
Yeah, trying to integrate the other side, the truth that's on the other side of the fence, trying to integrate that into your side of the fence.
Yeah. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, now we out here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tight, right? Yeah.
But yeah, but I think the truth that we're talking about insofar as why to withhold it more so, or then just like give it out to try to be everyone's best friend. You can't be everyone's best friend. That's just like a truth for sure. But you should try to be friends with people, for at least some people. And then like that level of friendship is a scale as well. It's like your family should be probably near the top for sure.
Yes.
Of that social transactional amount of you that you're really invested into this social transaction. Like if all of you is in the transaction, I guess all of you should be in all the transactions regardless. But I guess insofar as like how much you're like with this person or like really in the moment, like that momental transaction, like
emotionally invested.
We're here together. Yeah, we're here together.
Yeah, yeah.
It's different.
It is different.
And it varies, but you should be friends with some people at least.
Yes,
it's good for your soul.
And you should give people, even though like we are. I do value withholding my personal energy. Like I brought up my boss earlier and then kind of like diverted from that, but to like loop that thought is like sometimes like my boss needs to see who I am, and so I need to like give him some of my personal energy and then like develop a relationship with that person so that we can do what we have to do. It's like a coach. Like if a coach like kind of needs to try to understand his quarterback a little bit more, it's like I'm gonna have to be giving this guy like the keys to the, what do they call it? The keys to the car. Yeah, like I'm gonna have to like know who's driving my car and like what he's about, what kind of decisions, how he thinks. Like I need to open it up a little bit. And so like, but if someone at the gym is trying to open me up like that, I'm like, dog, stop.
Yeah, it's like, what am I, your father-in-law? Like,
What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, some people treat you like their father-in-law. Some people try to treat you like their stepkid.
Yeah, because
it's
in
weird,
that
bro.
situation, or I guess like in the father-in-law analogy, like socially, it's like you're in that case, yeah, you're trying to intermeld your social fucking vibrant or vibrations and frequencies because you're literally gonna do that with this other person and like try to create one vibration. But like in that in like the father-in-law thing, it's like so it's kind of like it makes sense that kind of should go down to a degree. Because yeah, who are you? Like you're driving my car and shit. You're gonna be like carrying on my family name and shit.
Yeah, I get it.
What's going on with you? What kind of things do you hold true?
Right. So when my boss is like, kind of like opening me up, and I'm like intuiting him and perceiving him opening me up and stuff like that. A lot of times my initial reaction is like, stop, bro. Like it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's for Justin. It's for my dad. It's for my sister. It's for whoever I'm dating at the time. Like these truer parts of me are like, I'm more rewarded when I keep those for the people that I actually have true relationships with. Not that I don't want to build one with you, but you just can't force one. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yes, that's another truth that we're sitting on the introvert side.
Right, exactly. But people want to, I don't know, bro. I don't know what it is. But to stay on what we're talking about right now, but with my boss, for instance, it's like, I get it though. For me to be a sophisticated person, it's like different in this regard and in this circumstance. Like I'm open to that.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? It was put in my head. I think that's a correct and mature, and sophisticated way to go about it. I did execute and like was vulnerable and direct. So like sometimes it's being your truest self is scary because like they could deem you not cool.
Yeah,
That's
not worthy.
Yeah, not worthy. That's a better way. I was like, not cool, bro.
You're not cool. You can't sit with us.
Yeah, right.
But you're not worthy.
Right. So that's a little bit of a scary thing. But it's also the way to like in that moment I needed to be like that. So like all that to say, the end result of us having that like share of energy and like opening up a little bit to each other is that we have more cohesion now. Like we work better together for real. Like I'm more trusted and I do more with that trust.
Yeah.
And so like that's a good thing. Even though I'm introverted, it's like that moment of extroversion was like utility wise important. Or maybe it was even put in my story to help me be less introverted or learn both sides.
Yeah, and understand that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's all part of this.
Understand this.
It feels important to tell you guys about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. But at the gym, it's weird. Sometimes in the social interactions, it's all transactional. But I'm misunderstanding that sometimes. I'm like, why do you want a social piece of me when we're transacting in a business sense?
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. We kind of hit on this before the pod, but like it's like kind of out of context. It's not in line with like the movie. In the movie that we're telling ourselves, like that scene is kind of a random scene.
Right.
What the hell's going on there? It's out of context. Like yeah, like to give father-in-law energy when like that's not the situation, or to be giving criticism when it's not the situation, or talk about something that's kind of irrelevant to what's going on in the right here and now. It's like, yeah.
What's the motive?
Yeah. What are we focusing on right now?
Right. What's the motive? That's what always gets me because I'm like, why? What's driving you to do that? And sometimes the answer is just people's own neuroticism. And that doesn't mean craziness. It means like compulsion. Like some people just have thoughts and they need to act on them. That's compulsion. Some people can have thoughts and they're super far from ever acting on them. And that's like the opposite of neuroticism. But neuroticism also is almost like OCD, where it's like, that's not straight. I want to straighten it. It's almost like control too. It's like, I don't have a lot of control here. Let me like take control. Let me like take charge. Let me like grab the wheel real quick.
Yeah.
And like,
that's a lot of it.
That's just a personality trait.
Let me grab the light.
Yeah.
The light's on whatever this thing is, but like, look at me real quick.
Yep.
It's like, wait, what? No, like we're looking at this thing. We're exploring this temple together.
Right. And yes, then it's like, what's the motive? Because in my mind, it's like a slithering snake. I'm like, is that snake gonna bite me? I think that's ultimately why I'm like, what's the like? Why are you being like this? It's out of context. It's not with the flow. We have a goal. We have a generalized idea of how this team's gonna get to the goal. This thing is out of context for what was supposed to be going on. Should I be concerned about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I generally end up in these negative interactions with people at the gym or sometimes people at work, because I'm just like, why are you being weird? I'll even just ask them, like, why is this happening? Like, this all feels out of context to me, and like I perceive it to be coming from a place that I don't understand. It's negative energy, to say the least. So like, I don't know what's going on there, but could we just like try to bridge that gap? Like, I respect you just as a person, but at the same time, we got a ball. I'm just here to ball.
Trying to ball, kid.
That's it. It's like, I care about the game. I got love for the game. I'm not here for anything else, bro. But then there's also other people trying to distract themselves, trying to like pass the time with more ease by creating more distraction. And
Yeah.
and like I get that. We're all kind of doing that to a degree,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I don't always want to be involved with that, and that shouldn't be a problem for you,
Yeah. Yeah. We respect that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Respect the introverts, man.
Nah, but
But all
people.
that shit's going on.
Some people
You only have so
are.
much.
They
And some
want
people are
to.
trying to like manipulate it to a degree, manipulate the narrative of because we're all like in what's going on. Like you're in there. We're all in there. We're all in the happening.
Yep.
Like welcome to the happening. Like
Yep.
breathing is just happening, dog. Like you can't really stop that from happening.
You're right. You're right.
All you can do is actually stop that from happening. It's like breathing is just going on. Like you can control when to
Yeah.
stop it.
All you can do is get in the way of that.
All you can do is get in the way.
Yeah.
It's like this shit's coming, dog. Like we're all in the happening right now. So
That shit
and we're all-
deep. That shit deeper than telekinesis.
this shit get deep. I listened to that album the other day.
Was it so good?
Loved it.
Awesome.
Loved it. Shout out Big Sean. But this shit get deep.
Yeah,
But
go
we're all
on,
in that,
please.
we're all in that happening, and we're all trying to like our interpretation of what's happening is our story, and we're all trying to like have validity within our own story or have our interpretation of what's going on because I guess that's what it is. Like you live in your interpretation of what's going on, and we can like present that to other people. And like the thing that we're looking at, like we were talking about earlier, like we're all looking at the same elephant or the same picture, and we're all have our interpretation of what it is. And then like we like share that with other people, like while we're going through it at the same time. So then some people, I guess in the social interaction, we can just like genuinely share what we think is going on. You can talk to me while you think, well, like even if you think you're wrong or like potentially, because who knows what the hell we're looking at here. But if you're open and vulnerable enough with me to like tell me that at that level of you don't really care if I think that you're wrong, and I'm not gonna, and like I guess through our other interactions, like even when you are wrong, I'm not gonna like kill you for it. It's like if you're able to be that vulnerable or like at that level, like that's like your true self and like the true social interaction. And people are trying to like manipulate that or think that you have or they have a more true version maybe of what they think is going on,
Yeah.
or their interpretation stat is like super super high, and having a
Yeah.
high interpretation stat is like very important in this life. That's like competence.
Yeah.
Literally, like my competence stat's really high, and it's like that's like the most important stat in this entire video game.
Yep.
So people want you to think because you can't see everyone's stats. You can't see anyone's stats.
You can.
To a degree, you can though.
Time will tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. I
Yes.
see him all the time.
Okay, yeah, damn, I love this.
Yeah. Right? I'm with you though, but you
But
can't.
people want to, yes.
You
'cause
can't.
Over time will tell.
Yes.
If you're trying to lie to me in this one social interaction, like you might just be trying to make me think that you have a higher stat in the interpretation of this whole thing that we're all going through together.
Yep.
Just so I think that I give you more clout,
And that's-
whatever that is.
What's your motivation? Why do you want that? Why do you want that from me? Do you just
motivation?
yeah, you just value it so much? Like ultimately, you do have a lot of influence, so your clout is super valuable.
Mm.
And people do think that the social game is so important that they want to literally manipulate perception,
Manipulate this narrative.
right? So that they have more social credit when they go into these transactions. But it's
Yes, for real, dog.
Right?
Damn.
Come on, but ultimately, like, I had to sit here and admit with fucking America right now that that's the social piece is part of the transaction, and that's why I think I'm predicting right now, theorizing. That's why people are so like neurotic to try to control that narrative with the social pieces that have the high. Like, I don't sit there and think to myself, "Man, this guy has a lot of influence. I got to make sure he likes me," or "I'm never gonna get by in this place."
Mm. We got alarms going off in a bit.
Dude, we're touching on truth for real. It's crazy.
Yeah, the social interaction, the social transaction.
The reason that it is true, like it is true. As much as I kind of don't want it to be true, it is true. And I think people take that and then that's why they think they have the right to act so neurotic. They think it can like legitimately be more important than just like being like, I don't have to make you like me. Like I don't have to care what you think about me at the end of the day. And then people are like, well, you kind of do. And I'm like, the thing is like, if you like me and I'm not good at my job, you can still get rid of me. But if you don't like me and I'm great at my job, I got better odds.
Yeah.
I got better odds.
I'll say, yeah.
For sure.
The competence, there's like interpretation of what the hell's going on. And it's like between you and yourself, and then also with you and others. Because like what others are interpreting can help you interpret better as well. So I love Jordan. We all love people. We all have people that we listen to and think they know things. Like just like we were talking about with earlier, I think before all this, like with Mike. Like he knows things about the car. So I just like trust all that with him.
Right.
Like any of that dialogue, any of that information actually funnel through him. But there's like the interpretation of this whole life thing in and of itself, and that's like one of your stats, and then that's with you and also with the social peoples. But then there's like competence. There's like, do you fucking get bucks? Do you put points on the board in whatever game you play? And that's the other thing. So it's like if my competence stat is super high, like the social aspect of my interpretation stat, I'm willing to forego to a degree as long as the competence stat is high enough.
I think you,
to where you can't tell me shit.
dude.
Can't tell me nothing.
Get money, babe. Ultimately, you personally need that, bro, because your interpretation stat is really high.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the other thing that's like, man, okay, so people didn't like Billy Bean in Moneyball. Like, when he starts saying, like, we're doing things this way now, it's like, what gives him the right to do that? Well, one, he's in the position, and then two, his interpretation told him to do that. And ultimately, even though no one really agreed with his interpretation, and then socially, they could sit there and talk to each other about how they all agree that they don't like his interpretation, and they might think that might be enough to shut it all down.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not necessarily. Sometimes it is, but it's not necessarily. And in that movie, it's not. And ultimately, if your interpretation is scalable, like if your interpretation is more true and you play it out over time, then like the karma of that comes back, and it's like validating in a sense where you probably change culture. And like you personally have it's lucky that your competence stat is so high that you're willing to sacrifice some of the social perception of your interpretation stat, because your interpretation stat is so high that you might predict something that's out of the culture, and you're gonna need to not care what people think, so that way you can get them across the bridge.
Yo, my dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Let's go.
Oh, shit.
I think that's part of your story, for instance, and part of my story too. Like we kind of need to have that.
Moneyball, dog.
Yeah, you got to pay him.
Yeah, you gotta pay me. Yes, I love that shit.
Yeah, same. I think that's what that movie's about, like on a deeper level. Like that's a difficult road to have to travel. But I think the other thing is that he got to that place in life. Like the whole story is kind of about how he ended up in that place in time. Like a third of the film is like backstory, and then it's like current time, and then it's like backstory. And I think that's like part of the overall arcing story, which is like you get to a place in time where you're gonna have to say, no, I think we should do it this way instead. And then what gives you the right to do that? It's like my interpretation.
The hill to die on.
A worthy hill to die on.
Who's the one who can interpret what hill's worthy of dying on?
Oh, that's how you start the next four. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. And then some people really want you to think that they know what hill to die on. And then if they agree, or if they get you to agree with them, then they do. And if they're wrong, then like the manipulation is that's what they're trying to do socially.
Needing my validation is weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want your validation. If I'm right, I'm right, and you'll just see that. You're just gonna see
if
that.
I make it, 3 points will go on the board, and we'll all know what happened.
Yeah, that's it to me. Like I don't need you to tell me that like my shot was good or bad per se. I do want the cohesion. Like if I miss, like game flow is different. Like if I miss a three, I tell the people that miss threes every time, I'm just like, hey, just keep shooting.
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting. It's like at a point where I don't tell a specific person anymore. Like I'm only telling this guy to keep shooting. That guy can stop shooting. It's like I just want everyone to feel that. So anytime someone misses a three, I'm like, keep shooting, bro. And like that's good, but he shouldn't need my validation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I didn't say it and he's like, bro, you're not gonna say anything to me after I brick a three, I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you asking me this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what happens in these social settings. Is
Yeah,
like
that's a great example.
Right. But people need
This is random and out of context.
It makes no sense.
If that happened during a basketball game and pick up basketball.
It'd be strange. I'd be like, what do you want from me?
Snake.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know. Yeah, distrust and disrespect. It's like trust and respect -3 or -1 -1 -1. But like not in like a rude way, not in like a shitting on you way, but like in I don't understand what's going on there, and now I have to trust it less because I want to make it non-information.
Yes.
I want to just be in my focus state. With what I actually have to, the unpredictable things I actually have to focus on.
Yes.
But you're becoming an unpredictable thing that I thought I didn't have to focus on.
Yeah.
Which means I have to put a little less trust on that.
And put more energy on it.
And that's...
Which is costly.
Yeah, I'm not super happy about it.
I only have so much.
Right, you're making me pay a premium here. For no... Why? Because you're neurotic? It's like, what the fuck? And I'm not being
What
rude.
the fuck?
Not being rude per se, because I understand there's human experience. That's what softens me out. Is like... There's probably times where I need someone to be chill with me too until I get my head around the corner. It's also like, I need people to get their head around the corner sometimes. We're operating at a high level here. I don't really have time to play like elementary games.
Yeah.
Not in a rude way.
It's weird. But yeah, 100%. It's, yeah, control of the narrative of ultimately. They're like, it's like, because they don't, I guess maybe trying to influence the general social narrative is easier than controlling your own narrative to a degree sometimes. Maybe it might get that way, because it's like, I could at least, it's like live the lie, or like, it's like, only you know what the hell's going on for real, and what you think and what you're doing and how you just like truly subconsciously predict, or not predict, but like interpret the entirety of what's going on in your life.
Yes.
And what energy you're on. Like you kind of make your own karma, I believe. Like subconsciously.
That's the definition of karma.
Right.
Right? Yeah, it's something you created.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And you're trying to, because maybe you don't like the story that you're telling yourself, or like your interpretation of what's going on. Like if you were to like really look at it for what it, like for the entirety of what it is. So like you don't like that. So it's easier to maybe influence what other people think of your story and their whatever they're writing in their Pokedex of you. It's a lot easier to influence that than it is to truly influence your own story and change your Pokemon from the inside out.
That, do you know why that makes sense to me so much?
Tell me.
Is because like, why is that? What's your motivation? The question that constantly occurs to my mind is like, why is this being projected onto me? I understand if you're having that problem, but it's like, why do I have to deal with your problem? I don't understand. But that makes sense is because it's because the problem is hard to deal with. So instead of dealing with it intrinsically, they put it off into this. Can you validate who I am now? So I don't have to feel so bad about the story I've been telling myself, or because I haven't earned my own respect, or because I'm not happy with who I've become. Can you make me happy about who I've become? Because I respect you a lot.
Yes.
And if you would tell me that, it would mean something to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's your motive? What do you want from me, bro? Like sometimes I'm literally like turning those people away. And then they're like, oh, I like trusted you. Or like I put you. The problem is I'm too intuitive. It's like, that's negative neurotic energy, and you're bringing it to my doorstep.
It's not good.
I just smell it like a dog. I'm like, whoa,
it's imbalanced.
Shot to
out
my
of context.
Come on.
Yeah.
The true things you're saying. And it's not rude things, it's just true things.
Oh.
And like that was hard. But the problem, and like, I don't want people to hear that and be like, he's condescending and cold. I don't want to give him warm energy. I have warm energy for you. Like, I legitimately do.
Hot shot of espresso, baby.
Dude, that's what I'm...
Get you up in the morning.
I think that's my spirit animal is that. Like,
it's a hot cup of espresso.
That's what I want to be for you guys, seriously. And at the same time, though, like, that requires a lot of focus and balance. It requires a lot of focus and balance all the time. I'm very focused and I'm very balanced. And then if I have something kind of just like that shaky energy coming up to me and like kind of throwing me off of that, it requires attention. And I'm sharp like a needle sometimes because it's like I smell malintention to some degree. Yeah. It's not malintention towards me at all. It's your own malintention for yourself. And I just feel that. Like, I can literally feel it. People be like, I'm not doing it. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, dude, it's like smelling it to me. It's like smelling it.
Seeping into my pores.
Yeah, like I feel it. And like, I don't want to make you feel bad about it, but it's like, you're making me deal with it. You're projecting that onto me. And then looking for an extrinsic answer to an intrinsic problem. Yeah. And then if I tell you that that's a negative social interaction, now I'm going to like have to like deal with negative consequences. Like, I didn't want any of this. Now I just lost social connection with you because you were being neurotic outside of you. Yes. But we got to help each other.
Yes. We're all Pokemon in the fucking world of Pokemon, and we all have our own Pokedex of all the fucking other Pokemon that we've ever met, and we have to fill it in with information, and then we have our own who we think we are, and like our own interpretation. Like, it's just like a mystery box, and like you get to like kind of choose or interpret who you think you are, like what Pokemon you think you are, and fill out your own shit with things that you hopefully know are true and have tested over time. I guess that's like a way to find out what true is, something that's happened over time. So we've mentioned that, or we've alluded to that. You've alluded to that earlier.
Yeah, time tells the truth.
Time will tell you. Yeah. If their competence stat is correct, time will tell you. Yes. Even regardless of what you think about their interpretation.
And dude,
so Pokemon, if you're a hard-hitting Pokemon, you're a hard-hitting Pokemon, dog.
Yeah, word.
And no matter what other people have in their Pokedex of you, that doesn't determine what you are in the final analysis.
No. And what does get determined in the final analysis, in my opinion, is the accuracy of your Pokédex.
Mm-hmm.
If your shit,
Yeah,
if
that's another
your
big thing.
right, you can have a diluted ass Pokédex if you want, but like you don't have good energy
You're
coming.
not going to win the game. You're not going to get to the final four.
No, you have low frequency experience.
You're not going to
coming
beat your
you.
rival.
No, dude, you'll probably lose badly.
Pokemon's in this bitch.
Life's gonna want to draw you forward. It's gonna hurt to watch Pikachu go down like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Damn,
you're totally just fucking off with their fucking what they're immune to or what they're super effective to or whatever. You're just like you're wrong in all your Pokedex and like you're just like misinterpreting people and saying like oh fuck his character, and his character doesn't. The character that he's exuding or she's exuding is not going to reap them positive competence and positive repercussions in the final analysis. They're going to lose their Poke battles.
Yep.
I'm not going to follow that. I'm not going to go with that strategy.
Yep.
And you go through your own shit and it's all fucked up. It's like you're not going to win the game. You're going to get destroyed, dog. Dragonite's going to destroy you.
Destroyed. All 6 of your guys just out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a rival out there.
It's yourself.
It's you.
It's you. It's you in another life.
Mm-hmm. It's the Shadow Link.
Yeah, it's a real thing. This is all real. Like, and you also have an adversary that's like the devil, but you do have like, and the devil could be defined as a snake in your own heart. So it really can be a completely intrinsic problem, to be honest with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like your better self, you're called forward. It's like when you get to the point of your complete understanding, and then it's like God or whatever life, like you're about to learn something. It's like it's always like just one increment outside of what you know. Like you have to take like one step forward. You have to have the like I was dwelling on all this social shit or like figuring out this social piece of the transaction. I mean, you giving it a vocabulary term really like finalized it. I'm like, oh, I can take the test now. I figured it out. But I've been studying it for like a semester or two, right? Because dude, there was just a weird thing that happened at some point when I was working at a previous employer, and I just like got my like life and my body and my look and my work rhythm, everything just like in line. And I was humming at a really high frequency. And then everybody wanted to say hello to me at the gym. Like I became like one of the people we'd see in the gym, like a legendary in the gym. I had like a moment where I became like a notable character in the gym, and people started to want to come up and press A on me. Be like, "What's up, bro? Yeah, I see you here all the time, fam. How long you been here for, bro? What are you lifting today, bro?" And just like it was such a swell at once that I was kind of overwhelmed by it. And it was like too noticeable. It's like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have all these social interactions. Why do I have to? What propagates that? Why are they enabled to do so?
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you kind of like just put the nose on the head, or like there's a lot going on when it's at the gym too, because the gym is hard to go to. So if there's stable things there to remind you why you want to go, and you can engage and interact with those things, like that helps in the gym. That's part of gym culture.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, the one of the deeper underlying things that's going on there is the interaction is social. The transaction?
Yeah.
Like people want to have. I can't just be there and be like, "Hey, can I borrow these weights when you're done?" And they're like, "Yeah, cool." And we don't have to have any kind of social. Like I gotta be like,
yeah, it's like, you done with this? It's like, no, one more set. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of like.
Leave it at that.
Yeah, can we just leave it at that?
Leave it there.
No, they want to have some kind of. What are you hitting today, bro? It's like they want to have that social piece.
Yeah, and where's that come from? I guess you're saying you had that internal like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for like 9 or 10 months. You know what I'm saying? I've been kind of just like trying to wrap my head around it. But ultimately, so with that being said, I was kind of like expressed that the moment where I did allow myself to open up to my boss so that he could like evaluate, like let myself be evaluated, and then also like put parts of myself out there that like true parts of myself, let him know those parts and then see what he does with them. And when he extended the true parts of himself back, and then we had a better relationship for it, it's crazy to me because it's just, I'd been reading, I've been studying, I've had this on my mind, and life called me one step forward. And all I had to do is be sophisticated enough to take that step without falling, like pass the vibe check, like step and make it to the next step. Because you could just like, woo, you could shoot your shot and it's an air ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Brick City.
Yeah, but like if you could just take that one step, then what I'm trying to say ultimately is all that stuff that anyone is dealing with intrinsically. I just told you a bunch of stuff I was dealing with intrinsically. It's like life itself will present you opportunities to understand it and overcome it. You don't have to project it on other people, and it will get dealt with. Like your experience will try to fix you, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. You have more clarity or more understanding.
Yes, because life is also like
more data.
Let's say like a defense, right? If your defense is vulnerable to deep passes, but you basically have everything else covered, People are just gonna come at you with deep passes.
Mm.
You're gonna have to fix it.
Yeah, you have a gap. You have a hole in your ship.
Life is like that.
The water's gonna pour in. It'll show you what to fix.
It'll show you what to fix. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And you can just rely on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rest easy with that.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm gonna have to deal with, like, life's just gonna bring it to my doorstep. And it's gonna be one step outside of my comfort zone. And I'm getting good at taking that step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just take that step. Fuck yeah. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's worth it. Plug the holes, man.
That's the totality of that thought.
Yeah, now I'll stem from talking about business. It's like business is social. 100%. It's built on social. And social is just anything more than one person, which we're definitely in.
I mean, maybe not. Is McDonald's built on the social piece?
They have to have clients.
Yeah, if you just treat them terribly. I think it's built on cheapness. It's built on necessity. People gotta eat, and that's the cheapest food around.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like at the fundamental level. It's like you can't have a business without if it's only
people, literally people.
Yeah,
got it.
People at all.
Yeah, but then okay, so why do people need the social piece?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because businesses need people. That A to B works for me. B to C I have trouble with. But it's hard to understand extroversion if you're introverted, I guess.
Yeah, I guess why? To gain more information, to get a more accurate interpretation of what's going on.
Because if we're alone, we're bored.
Yeah, I guess in a business standpoint, you need to kind of take care of your clients. You need people that want to come transact with you.
Yeah.
You need that. If you don't have that, you're gonna have zero customers, and then you're out of business, and then you're fucked.
I think it's more important than having a better product sometimes, is the social piece. If they like doing business with you, literally like, no, I just like doing business with old boy. That's my dog.
Not the best prices in town.
Yeah. If you get like Chris, for instance, incredible product. I like
consistency.
I like doing business with them. Like legitimately. That's like we have an energy.
His barber.
Yeah, my barber. The prices are high and it's far away, but I like doing business with him. So I'm like willing to account for that. Like it can go into my budget. Some people are strictly like, there's times when you have to be like McDonald's only, bro. But whenever you're like able to go to a restaurant, who you're going to give your money to, like you might pay a little more over a little less to have that quality.
The better social interaction.
I wouldn't personally, but it is true outside of me.
Yeah, or it's like whenever I go to any fast food, Wendy's, McDonald's, Whataburger, and or fucking another culprit is a Wingstop, and the fries aren't like great. The fries are like 4 at best, 4 out of 10. I'm just in my mind, I kind of accept it. I kind of like chalk it up to the game because But if you go to a fucking 5-star restaurant and the fries are cold, you're much more apt to ding them a little harder for it.
Yeah.
Foul.
Yeah.
A little more quick with the foul.
Call that game kind of tight.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's playoffs or something.
Yeah, it's playoffs. It's a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
It's the what?
That was tight. Yeah, dude. That's a good thought. That's true.
So business is built on that, just social. I guess people first and foremost, but then also, like hospitality, I guess, is kind of like the word that people associate with that.
There's also a scalable
the pleasure.
thing
Or sorry, I was just going to say the nature of the transaction itself. How pleasurable it is, how enjoyable it is. There we go. That's the word.
Because it kind of sucks to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
It always kind of sucks. No one likes sure, you like to buy things. You might like to spend money literally, but like spending the money kind of hurts a little bit too at the same time.
Like shave some of yourself off.
Yeah, a little bit of your security. You know what I'm saying? But that's also why I wanted to bring to the table. I think that it's a scalable thing. So the further away you are from poverty, I think the more you appreciate the social piece of the engagement. Because when you're closer to poverty, you're more likely to take the cheaper option, regardless of the service around it.
Yeah, chalk it up to the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cold fries, chalk it up to the game.
Right, and I can't just be shaving off pieces of me if there's not a lot of me to shave off. But like if you're in an abundance, then I think that the social piece, like the enjoyment of spending the money, means more than the amount of money that you're spending.
Yes, big time.
So much so, maybe it's almost like subconscious. Like it's like not a laziness thing that happens, but the same way that people get. You heard the expression like rich and fat. I'm not like throwing shade. It's just an expression.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's like I think like gluttony, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, or like just rich, fat, and happy. Like a king, a really like if a king was very like.
I did that again. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, or I'm with you that I think that you kind of misunderstood what I was saying, so I'm trying to redirect it
No, I'm
and
with
say
you.
like a bigger king if he has got some weight on him, if
Mhm.
he's like a big guy,
Yeah, the kings in the day were fat.
yeah,
Because they could afford to eat.
it's wealthy. It's like a thing
Abundant.
you aspire to be fat and happy and wealthy at the end of your life.
Yeah, more you to shave off.
Yes, and so when you get to that state, there for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm not there yet. I don't have that perspective, but the social piece of the interaction means a lot more, or of the transaction. It's much more valuable. So much so that I can tell that people, they just like, people will literally try to express to me at my job, like, I'm having a good time because of you. It's like the food is like kind of relevant to me, dude. I eat steaks everywhere. It's
Yep.
like, how are you, bro? And I'm
I
just
can
like,
get a good meal anywhere. Once you have enough money, I can go to any restaurant.
it doesn't
Literally
mean
any restaurant.
right.
But I'm enjoying this one more than all of them.
And that's crazy. It's hard for me to digest that in the moment. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's so far out of my perspective that I kind of need a moment, but they also need me to be live on camera, so I can't sit there and think about it too long. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's true, or it seems to be true, especially with the wealthier the clients get, the more the social part of the transaction is valuable to them. And I'm not like saying that in a way where we got to really try to be friends with these guys, or I'm trying to grease them up or nothing like that. If anything, I'm reserved for the most part with my truer selves. But with those people, I realize that, like, one, they're being honest with me, and two, they're really here for the hospitality piece. So like, me to be truly hospitable for them and it feels right, I'm like, I have to let in a layer of my more true self. Like, maybe talk about how I'm going, to Las Vegas.
A little more personal stuff.
A little more personal stuff, because they're kind of asking for it.
Yeah.
And like, it's cool. I mean, it's just cool. I think that's how bigger business happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the $1 million deals,
Uh-huh.
the golf courses and the saunas and the social part of the transactions, how you move those gears, bro. Because if you're the only time you deal with high prices and cold hearts is out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe you have poverty, or maybe you really need to get the deal done. But people who have the choice of how they want to spend their money, it's like, that's not what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that translates to the social as well. I think maybe those people, I guess, I don't know, money can do crazy things to people, or make people transmute their personality for the money, but whatever. But I think a lot of people who are truly abundant and like really got it figured out and have like a good hum about themselves, really enjoy the social part, regardless of like any potential positive outcome it could have for them.
Yes.
Right?
And that's more about, that is the higher frequency to be on.
Yeah.
Or at least the moment, because I'm not there for the social piece, but I'm there for the moment. So like, let's say like, if champagne gets spilt on me, but it's like the funniest thing in the world based on what we just said, I'm so happy that moment happened that I don't care that champagne got spilt on me at all.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I guess what I'm saying is like a high price to pay. If I'm there for the moment, I don't care necessarily how high the price is to be paid. Like, if it's like that is because art imitates life.
Mm-hmm.
So when art's encapsulating like a perfect moment, some of those happen in real life too. And if I'm there for one of those, that's me. Like, that's outside of money. And I think that's a higher frequency that I'm able to tap into.
Yeah.
Because if you're just, you ever seen someone that's just like way too concerned, like the whole time they're having a bad time about how much money they're spending? It's like, that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, this isn't how you should be having dinner. It's like, this is all poor experience. I want like optimal experience.
Yeah. The moment, the most optimal moment that we can have right here.
More valuable than money for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you gotta, some people don't have money to be spending. Like, it hurts. Like, you're in a poor place financially.
Yes.
The rock and a hard place is real as fuck too.
Yeah. So the social cue, or the social piece of business and everything of life, is important. It's important. And it's like, I don't know, why not? At least try to be like baseline with everybody, You gotta be everybody's best friend, because you can't, first and foremost, you can't be everybody's best friend, but at least just be like even keel with everyone. Just even keel.
Yeah.
Good. Everything's good. You good? Yeah, we're good. All right, cool.
Right.
Just leave it at that.
Can we leave it at that?
That's nice. I love that.
Yes. See, and I build relationships.
And then you can enrich it. From there, you can enrich this shit, make it crazy dope.
Yes, that's what I was trying
to cry laughing.
Right. It stems from that place of natural peace.
Mm-hmm,
it's like, we should come to homeostasis on its own effect. Like, our energy just in a pool should become like
pretty still,
like balanced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that place, we get the moments where I'm loose enough, or like it feels right to be like laughing hard, or the moments that would give us the thing that you're asking for, which is like bonded friendship. It's like those things occur naturally when we're just at homeostasis with each other.
Yeah, first we have to like every social interaction is waters meeting and colliding, and then those waters can still, and then they could become organized waves, and then us as surfers, we can ride the organized waves, and it's fucking exhilarating.
Yes.
Or they can clash and create a fucking hurricane, and then we're both surfers in this hurricane, and it's terrifying.
All right, dude, that's one of the best analogies I've seen you just pull out on the spot. That's money, dude.
That shit hit me. Got to put that in my mailbox.
Dude, that was beautiful. You've got mail.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's like, man, one of the bigger problems is that I feel rude saying all this. Just like what generates more negative energy in myself is that I'm gonna have to have a conflict moment, which is just hard to have. Yeah, so
You got to still the waters. It's like, my waters are pretty still, and you're coming at me with some waves. I'm just like, what are you doing? Can we like just still? Can we still this moment that we're both sharing right now?
yes, dude. I need to express that, and like part of me is having like a hostile energy within myself because I'm upset that I'm having to deal with it at all.
Mm.
So it's like that's why I think I want to talk to you about it, or why it comes to the presence of mind. Why I've been dealing with it is because it's like an annoying thing, and I'm gonna feel rude and like almost conceited because I'm like, who am I to say, dude? I'm like, it's just a lot, you know what I'm saying? At the gym to be like, dude, I don't want to check in with you every day. It's like I've had that conversation with like 5 or 6 or 7. I got in an argument with this other dude at the gym because he was trying to pray for me at the gym.
Oh yeah, remember you telling me about that?
Yeah, dude, it got into a head like another time after the time when I was like, say, bro, like you're wilding over here. Like all the stuff that you're coming to me and saying and stuff like feels weird. I don't know what you're doing, but like I'm cool. Like,
What's your motivation?
yeah, more or less, bro. And then he's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's like this older dude. And then he ends up coming over to where me and Julian are working out. And then he's like, trying to use our machine. And then the machine right next to our same machine opens up. And he's just like still waiting for our machine so that he can like catch me in between sets so that he can try to be like, hey, man, I know you were thinking this about me, but I'm really more about this. I'm like, bro, this is like, usually I would wear headphones in the gym to not have this conversation right here. Because like, this is your own neuroticism. Like,
It's a great weapon.
I don't. Yeah.
I love the headphones.
Like, I don't want this. I didn't come for this. And also, it's not like I was open to you praying for me for sure. But then you're also like, we're talking shit behind my back to Julian because I guess you thought you were closer friends than me and him were. But like, as soon as you walked away, this guy's like told me what you said about me. And your prayer was kind of off base too. You started talking about Joe Biden and the current politics in the middle of your prayer. I felt like you were doing it like a bit. You were like going off, And I'm just like, I didn't sign up to. You're like taking this my attention. You're like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that to me? It's
Yeah.
like rude, and I don't know how to figure out the right word for it, but it's like almost like assault for my attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put your light on me. Like, I'll put my light on my workout.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why do you want? Why do you want? You're spending your light trying to get me to remove my light off the thing that we should both be focusing on right here.
Right. And then he's just like, oh, so you said you were a devout Christian? I was like, yeah. And he said, you're a pastor or something like that. I said my dad was a pastor, and I've like grew up in the church. So like, yeah, I wanted to pray for you too. You like pray for each other. But also like right now, I'm not interested in that. Not in a rude way. I know you want to pray for me right now. Or like I was kind of telling him no, which is a weird thing to do. Have you ever told someone no, I'm good on that?
Don't pray for me.
Yeah. Have you ever said that to someone?
Please could you not? I'd appreciate it if you didn't.
So like, but in that moment, I'm like, I didn't come for that right now. Like I wouldn't want someone to go to someone in the gym and be like, hey, can I pray for you? In a moment where they're not ready for that. That's like putting a bad name on what we're doing here as like evangelists or like the people of Christ. And like right now I'm in that state where like I'm not in a place where I want you to pray for me because like my trust and respect levels for you were lowered over our last interactions. But like if you want to pray for me, you could pray for me on your own and it would do the same thing, same accounting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whatever you're trying to get done here, like you can do it for me, but I don't want to be a part of it right now because I don't really trust. I didn't come here for this, and you're kind of being rude by forcing it on me. So could I have some space and just do my workout, please? And like, dude, I felt like I needed to have that conversation with that guy because it like needed to be said, but it sucked saying all that. It put me in this weird corner that like I seem like I'm a douchebag for some reason,
Right? Yeah.
You know?
Not sure what's truth here in this in the Denzel and Ethan Hawke shit that we are talking about yesterday. Like each,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like tackling the guy in the wheelchair. Is that right or wrong? Making him throw up the drugs. Is that right or wrong? It seemed like I was doing that to that old man.
To the nth degree.
Right?
I think you were in the right.
I think so too. Because what kind of like showed it to me is immediately he's like, well, how many people have you brought to Christ in the last year? Brother. So what are your stats? And I was like, dude,
That's a weird question.
Weird question.
That's a question that's out of context completely. Like, what are we doing here?
Right? You're trying to like get defensive and jockey with me over the hierarchy of. See, that's what I'm saying is you wanted to pray for me for clout. You're talking about how many people you saved for clout. All that is strange to me. Right now, you want social interaction from me for clout.
Yeah.
What's your motivation? Why do you want that? Just work out, dog. Just take people to God, dog.
I'm at the gym.
Yeah, that's the
What
thing.
the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't come to.
Why am I dealing with this at all?
It's not a chat room, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but and then yeah, part of me just answered, and I'm just like, dude, I brought like 10 people to church in last year, and then he's like, oh, did you get them baptized? And I was like, what are we talking? He's like, I got 10 people baptized.
10?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like,
What a coincidence.
right. And I was just like, okay, all right, bro. Like, thank you for doing the Lord's work. It's like I don't. He's like, you can come to my church. You can talk to all the people that I baptized. And I was just like, dude,
Oh God, that hurts. A cringe.
you're like talking shit to me about something that's so. And then I was like, dude, like, and he's like, I've never seen someone so angry. Like, you're just an angry man. And I was like, dude, I'm talking to you like Jesus would talk to a Pharisee. And at that point, I was like, damn, you're out on a limb, kid.
Watch out, kid.
Yeah,
That
seriously.
was God talking through you.
Right? And then he's like, no, I don't take money from people. I'm not in the church for the money. And I was like, the Pharisees, the money was alluding to hypocrisy. The money was symbolizing hypocrisy. You're exuding hypocrisy right now because you're talking about, I want to pray for you. And you stake so much of your life on this Christianity evangelistic mission that you're doing. But the energy that you're bringing to me right now about it, the way that you're going about it, isn't very Christ-like. And that
Tomahawk, dog.
Yeah.
It's called the John Morant Tomahawk poster.
And then Julian is like, the guy I'm working out with is like, say, bro, can we just work out, man? And like, we got one more set. And I'm like, all right, bet. And I do my one more set. And this guy just stands there. Even though the other machine's open, he could just start doing pec deck. You know what I'm saying? Not a big deal. And then the pec deck, the other one, Julian points this out to me. He's like, yeah, dude, the other machine was set up for the back deck. And then he just waits for us to get done, wipes our machine down, and then sets ours up for back deck.
Oh my God.
Like, he just wanted to, he was over there to fucking talk.
What a perfect, like, life is perfect like that. It's a perfectly written scene. You know, if I was going to write a movie, that's exactly how it would go down to emphasize more of the point that you're trying to make here.
That, like, even though it seemed like it would be, like, who am I to get mad at this old guy saying hello and want to pray for me? It's like, because it's weird, bro. All of it was out of context.
On surface level, who am I?
Right?
Oh, we're the fucking, what's your motivation?
Yeah,
Going
right.
in there.
Right. It seems to me, I don't want to shy away from that. Sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe I should. Like, being too intuitive causes social disbursement that might have negative ramifications. Because, like, do you need everyone to like you? Do you need that?
I guess kind of yes and no, like we were talking about with like interpretation and social interpretation aspect of that, but then also the competence. It's like you don't need everyone to like you if your competence stat is hitting. But if your competence stat isn't hitting, then you need people to like you to help you readjust your interpretation stat. Because if no one likes you, they're not going to help you adjust your interpretation stat correctly. They're going to say, fuck you, figure it out on your own.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep. That's hard, dude. That's hard. Also, it's like, part of it is like, I think the story is what, if your competence is high enough, like Billy Bean's, the story worked out for him. Like the coach ended up gaining respect for him. And once the coach gained respect for him, then Billy Bean had more like respect for the coach because the coach was actually going with what he said. Then they could work together. But like, there's that moment where like you need, if your competence is high enough, hopefully you do your job well enough that people ultimately gain respect for you. But like, man, being a Maverick's like a scary thing. Like, that's why Tom Cruise's call sign is Maverick in Danger Zone.
Top Gun?
Top Gun, yes. Because it's like, there's dangers to being a Maverick. Like, you can get your friends killed. Like, it's dangerous to be uncontrollable and uncoachable and so ahead of the curve that everyone's got to figure out behind you what you see.
What the truth is.
What the truth
that
is.
you see.
House is like that too. Another show where someone's so ahead of the curve and they're such a Maverick that they create folly and chaos behind their wake of not allowing themselves to be more likable.
Yeah.
It is important to some degree.
Yes. Only whenever, I guess particularly whenever you're trying to adjust your stat and because your competence are like you're not getting the results you want. So you need help in trying to adjust your algorithm and adjust your actions and your habits and see what's working for other people. And then if they like you, they'll tell you and they'll want you to win. But if they don't like you, they're a lot less likely to tell you and want you to win. But if you're winning on your own, I guess you don't need them. But I guess you can't win every game. You can't win forever. There's things that you're not going to know. They're going to be things that you don't know how to handle when they present themselves.
Yes. I'm just racking my brain. I'm thinking about Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. Two guys that didn't care too much about their likability. My dad still says he fucking hates Tom Brady. And I'm like, I get it. I
Mhm.
get it, but like I don't get it. Like, do you just need a good home crowd? Is that all you need? And then the rest of the world they can hate you for your greatness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
that's hard.
the people you can actually look at and touch, you need them to know who you are. Like you have to maybe market yourself well enough to some degree that you're like there for people and can communicate to them and like like I was trying to communicate, it's a them problem that I'm dealing with them in the gym. It's
Mhm.
like I got to be there for them.
Yeah.
And like if I'm there for them, they'll be there for me. And I think that's the frequency that creates like a Michael Jordan or a Tom Brady is like the commitment to. I mean, you can't just be committed to yourself. Is ultimately the thing.
A higher order.
The higher order is caring about them too.
You have your own tendencies, and you might be right in some of your tendencies, but the higher order sometimes requires you to go outside of your tendencies and outside of what you think is right, and act in a way, like engage with that person and or try to help them, and then like you did help him. Like at the end, like he needed to see that or needed to hear those words, or maybe have that like opposing narrative brought to his attention so he could like deal with his own narrative because it's a him thing.
Yeah.
Or everyone's dealing with their own thing and trying to project it out to the outward world sometimes.
It's the only way we have to work on it, right? Is to take our current understanding and test it against what's outside of our door.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Get it. You need the social piece in the transaction because you need other people to like run your presuppositions against or with.
Help you figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And we guess is that what we're here to do? Is that why it's so important?
Yeah, I guess, right?
It's just the name of the game.
I don't know.
It's the name of the game.
There's something going on. The happening is happening.
Yeah. And part of it is that we're all here experiencing it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the happening is that it's like a multitude of people are in the happening.
Billions.
Yeah. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
That's life.
That's it. Shit, man. We could do this forever, my dog. You want to wind it down?
Yeah.
I think we did an intro. We just ran.
Damn it, man.
Welcome in and departing from the MJ38 show, episode number 27. 27 of them things. Vladimir Guerrero, I'm fairly certain, was number 27.
Way to pull one out. I didn't have
Angels.
anything. Let's go.
Angels baseball player.
Damn it, dude. I wish we could just pod for 3 hours.
I know.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get that Joey Rogan status. We'll get there soon. One day it's going to be awesome.
Thank you for leveling up with us.
Thank you for coming in. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. It is now, the holidays are officially in order. Christmas is coming soon. But life is good. The waters are always warm. Keep doing the right thing. Any other parting words?
Life getting deeper and deeper. I dig it.
It's getting deep, y'all.
When you gotta dig deep, dig deep. Life gets deep too.
Yeah,
the
you
name
only see the surface level, y'all. And there's so much beneath the surface. It goes forever.
You're the answers to everything you're looking for.
Mhm.
They're there. They're
Look.
within yourself.
Just gotta look for them.
I love you.
Love y'all. See you next time.
Rolling through the city to the light show. Really ain't no telling where we might